Saturday night, early Sunday morning, live from Building 300. Hello everybody, I'm Chuck. I'll be your host for this evening. This show is about arts and entertainment in the Atlanta area. It's about musicians, it's about actors, producers, directors, photojournalists, anyone in the entertainment area. This is your show. I want to feature local talent on this show. I've been fortunate enough in the past to work with some national talent and some really great local talent right here in the Atlanta market. The first show tonight is about a gentleman by the name of Rick Brothers, who is a drummer for country artist Colt Ford. He plays an interesting instrument called the Zendrum. The Zendrum was actually invented by a gentleman by the name of Dave Haney right here in the Atlanta area. Peter Gabriel plays one, his drummer, Stevie Wonder, his drummer. A lot of national rock and roll artists own one of these instruments. It's a cool instrument because it allows the drummer to step out front and actually do a solo, and you'll see part of that tonight in this Rick Brothers interview. Colt Ford also allowed my son and I all access to the stage, and we got to highlight the night by producing a video, and you'll see that video. So right now, check out the Rick Brothers interview. Right after that, the Colt Ford song. I'd like to introduce to you Mr. Rick Brothers with the Colt Ford Band.
Hi, sir. How are you doing,
Thanks
Chuck?
for coming out.
My pleasure, my friend. My pleasure.
So how long have you been playing drums?
I've been playing, well, you're asking my age, but I'm going to say 30 plus years.
Wow.
Yeah.
So when were you first introduced to the Zendrum?
I was introduced to the Zendrum, I'm going to say around 1995, 96. I used to manage a drum shop, and they had trade shows every year called the NAMM shows. And I went to one time, and I saw a booth, and these people had this instrument and making some amazing music out of it. Sounds. They were playing piano, they were playing drums, they were playing everything. And my time, I had my own band, and I used to come out front and sing, and I thought, wow, I don't know if I can do that, but how cool would that be if I could do that? So I went and bought one, and that was 25 years ago. Yeah.
Now, even looking at it like it is, it looks complicated to me. How long did it take you to master the
Well, that's the interesting part about this thing, is I tell people when I get asked about it every day I use it. It's complicated from the standpoint of I couldn't tell you at all how Dave made this thing work, but once you figure out how to make it work for you and you get used to it, it's kind of like typing on a keyboard or something. None of these buttons have sounds, any note or any voice, any instrument on this button. So it takes you a while to learn out as being a drummer. You could be a great drummer, and it doesn't mean you can play this. You could play this great and never play drums in your life. But once you start figuring out that this finger can do this and this finger can do this, and then you do this, and you're like, well, if I put this here and I put another sound here and I hit those two together, then you start realizing where you can put sounds that make them work for you. So it's a learning curve for you as yourself. I mean, there's no instructions to tell you. I couldn't hand this to you and say, play this, because you might set it up completely different and to make it work for you. And that's kind of the beauty part about it. It's always a learning process, I guess, you know. But once you get used to it, it's like typing.
So we're with Rick Brothers, and we're at the North Georgia Fair, and we've got a show coming up here in just a few minutes. Now, Rick, do you play this in all your shows or select shows?
Well, we play this every night. I play this with Colt. Because of Colt's music, it lends itself to some kind of electronic drum sounds. And when I first joined Colt 4.5 years ago, because, I mean, obviously I played drums for Colt, but one of his very popular songs that Jason Aldean had a #1 hit with, Dirt Road Anthem, it was programmed drums on the original record. And so I was able to emulate that with the Zendrum, and I brought it out one day. I said, I want to try something, see if you'd like this. I brought it out. He's like, that is the coolest thing I've ever seen. We got to put that in the show. Since then, over 700, maybe close to 800 shows later, I use it every night. And people, not one show, people don't come up and go, what is that thing? That's the coolest thing I've ever seen. I have this wireless too, which is an extra added bonus, because I can walk around the stage and I can, you know, go over and talk to people in the front row. I can go over and sing with Colt. It's visually very stimulating for the crowd, and it's very fun for me because I've become part of the show. occasionally, because I'm wireless and they're all radio frequencies in the air, and sometimes it may make it act a little weird or something might go down. I've had to put it down and get behind the drums real quick a couple of times, but for the most part, knock on wood, it's been pretty good to me. Yeah.
Well, I know when I mentioned to Dave that I saw you at the Atlanta Motor Speedway at the Labor Day race a couple of years ago, and you were out playing it in front. He was just thrilled to hear that his instrument was being a part of something like that.
Sure. Well, like I said, it is ironic that it's been around so long. In every show I play, people are like, they think it is like something futuristic from, I mean, how, like I can get the internet on it or something, because you just have no idea what it is. But they just sit there, and when I come out and the first, because I kind of walk around the back of the stage, which you'll get to see in the show tonight, but it's like the first thing you'll see the people's faces, and they're like, what is that? I'm very interested. You haven't seen the show, so I'm waiting for you to. Yeah, I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised how seamless it is and how fun and free this thing can make you. And it's really a very high point in our show. People love it. Just love it. Yeah, it's awesome.
Rick Brothers with a Colt Ford band. It's showtime.
Lord of mercy, here she comes, behind the wheel of a pickup truck. Mudslanging, she's singing, country girl just doing her thing. And ain't nothing like my backwoods baby, drive my tractor, drive me crazy. Likes hunting, loves fishing, and she can hold her own in the kitchen. And by the way, boys, did I mention she's pretty as a field of daisies? She's sweeter than a watermelon wine, way hotter than the Alabama asphalt. And when I get her in these arms of mine, Lord have mercy, I love her kisses. Man, I can't get enough. Kinda like chicken and biscuits. She can rock them high heel shoes, but she rather wear cowboy boots, cut off jeans and a baseball hat. Them city girls can't do it like that. Off the chain on a Friday night, dancing and drinking, ain't scared to fight. But Sunday morning come rolling round, singing in the choirs where she's found. Y'all, I'm so proud, cause there ain't no doubt that she's pretty as a field of daisies. She's sweeter than a watermelon wine, way hotter than the Alabama asphalt. And when I get her in these arms of mine, Lord have mercy, I love her kisses. Man, I can't get enough. Kinda like chicken and biscuits. Hold you close. There's something that you need to know when it comes to loving you. Ain't nothing that I'd rather do. She's pretty as a field of daisies. She's sweeter than a watermelon wine, way hotter than the Alabama asphalt. And when I get mercy, I love her kisses. Man, I can't get enough. Kinda like chicken and biscuits.
Come join us at Jalapeno Joe's in Hiram for Mexican dishes at affordable prices. Tuesday, your choice of tacos or enchiladas only 99 cents. Wednesday, one free kids meal per paying adults. Saturday, buy 8 wings, get 8 free. Sunday is Nacho Libre. All you can eat nachos, $8.99, chicken or beef. Free delivery with a $25 minimum purchase. Jalapeno Joe's in Hiram.
Hello everybody, once again live from Building 300, Chuck here with you. You know, we call this segment the unsung heroes of rock and roll, because you go to a show and you see all this great lighting, you see all the smokes, you hear the great sound. Well, when all that happens, there's somebody in the background making that happen. When you see a great light show at a concert, there's somebody there making that happen. And one of those guys is here with me right now, Ricky Henderson. Ricky.
Pleasure, Chuck.
Thanks for hanging out with us
Thanks
today.
for having me today. Hopefully make some stuff happen. It's
So
spectacular here today.
Yeah, so I did the lighting here though.
Right, I didn't have to lift a finger. Well, I got this water. And
So how long have you been doing lighting?
carry the one. 40 years.
40 years.
Yes, sir.
So what got you into the business?
Darkness. It was no, just I'm like that. Sorry. My brother had a little band, and I used to help him out with his production. Do the
And you eventually through the years moved into the more prominent big time bands, correctly?
That's correct. I had to, because most of his band members died.
And you got to pay the bills.
And you have to pay the bills. That's right. Somebody's got to do it.
So who are some of the artists that you've worked with?
Well, some of my favorites are, of course, the Georgia Satellites, who I was lucky enough to tour with for about 2 years in '87, '88. Mother's Finest, Cheap Trick, the Starbuck Band was actually my first national act that I
Now they had
toured with.
they had the big hit "Moonlight Feels Right" back in what was it, the 70s?
1970.
Was it that long
I
ago?
think it was 70.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. It may have been 70, 71 or 2. Now that I think about it, because it was a springtime classic. Yeah, it's a little later than 70, probably 72.
So you did the major rock and roll tour with the Georgia Satellites. Is that when "Keep Your Hands to Yourself" and all that was going on?
That's when that was going on. They'd actually been touring with Tom Petty, and before that, and they were doing larger venues, and I came along after that, and the first thing we did was fly over to England and tour. Do a little tour of Europe when I first got with them. We just immediately hopped on a plane and bam, you know.
So you living that life, what is the biggest misconception about being on a rock and roll tour?
Oh, I would have to say that everybody thinks that being on the bus is a lot of fun, and it's fun for the first 15 minutes, and then you know, you've got your smokers and all that, so that gets a little tough, because I've never been much on the cigarette scene,
right?
You know, but that and the bathrooms, you know, it's like having a porta-johny, you know, to go to, and I don't know, just you're moving all the time. You're at work, you know, 24 hours a day.
Have you ever woke up and said, "What city am I in?"
All the time.
Really?
In fact, what city? Never mind. I know. It's Paulding County, right?
Right.
Yeah, yeah. Glad to be here at Paulding County.
Yeah, the show originates out of Paulding County, but we're all over Atlanta. So, in fact, we're going to be traveling to Athens. We're going to be traveling to Nashville. We're going to be doing a lot of music and entertainment and everything behind the scene. And I'm glad you're a part of this. We'll be right back.
It's the most wonderful time of the year. Tax season is here, and it's time to buy that new vehicle you've been wanting. Bryant Dependable Motors in Hiram has a wide selection of late model vehicles to choose from, with down payments starting as low as $500. Reestablish your credit and start the new year with a quality vehicle from Bryant Dependable Motors. All vehicles come with a 3-month, 3,000-mile warranty and free oil changes for the life of the loan. When you're looking for Reliant, buy from Bryant. Bryant Dependable Motors, 3745 Jimmy Lee Smith Parkway, Hiram.
And welcome back. We call this segment the Unsung Heroes of Rock and Roll. We got Ricky Henderson, who was a lighting guy, traveled with the Georgia Satellites, Cheap Trick, I can't talk, and Mother's Finest, and a bunch of others, I'm sure. You know, here's a big misconception I have, is when I walk in, where's the outlet at? I need to plug these lights in. So there's a whole science behind that, correct? I mean, it's not just walking in, plugging some lights in.
No, Chuck, it is not. You have to have big power. Most of the time we use 400 amps, 3-phase, just to get it started. And all that goes, you know, you got 1,000-watt powers, you know, and they draw a lot of power.
I know a gentleman
like that together, and you're drawing a lot of power.
I know a gentleman who owned a venue who booked Confederate Railroad to come and play, and they got there and they said, you don't have the necessary power to do this. And so immediately they had to get electricians out there to do what you're talking about. So if you're out there and you're thinking about hiring a big group, you got to think about the power.
You can always get a generator. That's what people do when they don't have the power in place in the building. They just hire a generator and run the cable, you know, from outside, inside, and do it that way.
Now, like the artist, do lighting guys have roadies? Do you have someone that comes out and sits?
Oh yeah.
So
we have hands. Stage hands.
Right.
That do everything, you know.
So your job is to control the board.
My job is to make sure they do their job. And then I run the board and set it all, you know, wire it to where it makes sense when you go to try to figure out where all the lights are going to come on, you know, that all the blue lights are going to be on one channel and accessible later on when you're running the show.
So the band has I guess a song set of songs they're going to play through the night, and you're provided with a copy of that.
Yes,
and based on that set, you build your lighting show around that set of songs.
Sir. Right, because when they pop off that first note, you got to be ready to pick them up, you know.
Right.
Call the follow spots and have all
that.
So
you handle the follow spots as well as everything else you see.
Even the house lights.
How many lights would you say goes into lighting a big production?
How big?
10,000.
Oh, a couple hundred lights.
Really?
Yes. Easily. So
you'll start the day before then, or the night before, or early morning?
No, believe it or not, it all goes in. It's built to go together fast, and you put enough people doing it, and organization is key. You just have to know, you know, that when you're setting it up, you have things labeled, so you know where every wire is going to go. It's not just you try to figure it out with a pile of wire later. You label all the cables and everything, and it snaps together pretty fast.
Now,
4 or 5 hours.
Are you part of the rehearsal?
Not usually.
No.
No. Just kind of get in there and do it.
So are the first couple of shows of a tour kind of bumpy, and and then you find your way?
Oh yeah.
Is basically every show the same as far as lighting?
Yes.
It's always the same from a lighting perspective.
Yes. After you kind of get used to get to know the songs, and then you figure out what you want to do with them, and then you try to stick to that. It makes it a lot easier than having to reinvent the wheel every night.
Do you ever have a band member come up to you and say, "Dude, you're killing me with that light. Let's make some changes"? Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Definitely. But not real. They're not real bad about it. Now I do corporate stuff, and they can be kind of aggravating from time to time. They don't really like stuff like lights in their eyes and stuff like that. And now I see why.
You can say, "Welcome to my world."
That's right. This is what they have to deal with, but they get the big bucks, so they just need to deal with it.
We'll be back to wrap it up.
We sure will.
Come join us at Jalapeno Joe's in Hiram for Mexican dishes at affordable prices. Tuesday, your choice of tacos or enchiladas, only 99 cents. Wednesday, 1 free kids meal per paying adult. Saturday, buy 8 wings, get 8 free. Sunday is Nacho Libre. All you can eat nachos, $8.99, chicken or beef. Free delivery with a $25 minimum purchase. Jalapeno Joe's in Hiram.
Well, welcome back to this portion called the Unsung Heroes of Rock and Roll. We're talking to a lighting expert here, Ricky Henderson, who's been on tour with some major groups and played some major shows and made the lighting pretty for all those people. And so,
We try.
Are you a freelance artist or do you work for a company?
Freelance.
So how do you find work? I would go out of my mind trying to find a gig for lighting. But I guess that's your expertise.
Yeah, they just get on board with some companies, and the jobs come up, and they just fill you like you would a contractor on, building a house. It's no different, really. Just somebody to go down and put the wires in.
What's the busiest time of year?
March.
Busiest time of year is March.
Spring, when the weather's nice here, and we're in Atlanta, so to speak. And just when the weather's nice, people want to come down here and do shows. And during the winter time, and the summer's slow.
Summer is slow, really.
Summer's slow. It's just too hot here. But nobody wants to wear a coat and tie in the middle of the Georgia. Very nice, by the way. In the middle of the heat, they just I don't know what it is. Just the heat, just uncomfortable.
What's the difference between indoor lighting a show and outdoor lighting a show?
Well, you hope the sun goes down before your show starts. That's part of it. But it's really no different.
You don't have to worry about things overheating?
No, not really. Not really. Just worry about it raining. We've done,
right.
Done a lot of stuff out in the rain, and it's not pretty.
So next time you're in a concert in Atlanta, this guy may be controlling the lights.
Buy me a beer. Yeah, I appreciate that.
Thanks for hanging out with us.
Okay, buddy. Thanks for having me.
Hello everybody, Chuck back at live at Building 300. We always have fascinating guests. It's always fun to work with local entertainers. And today with me I have Kayla Tibbs. Kayla, welcome to the show.
Hi.
Kayla has an amazing voice and she's going to do a couple of songs for us. So tell me how long you've been playing, singing?
I've been playing guitar for probably around 3 years. I'm self-taught and I also play a little bit of piano. I've been singing ever since I came out of the womb, I think. I don't really remember the first time I sang. The first time I sang in front of an audience, though, was my 8th grade talent show. I didn't win, but that was the first time I sang in front of an audience.
Now, how nervous were you going out for the first time in front of an audience? Or were you pretty confident?
It's not that I was confident, but I wasn't really nervous. I was more excited. Like, I've always been pretty good at turning my nervousness into excitement, because it's just kind of what you do as a performer. If you get nervous going on stage, you just got to be excited, not nervous.
Now, you're a solo artist, or you play with a band, or?
No, not as of now. I don't play with a band. I usually play solo. Sometimes I'll gig with some friends or, different musicians that I've met along the way, but no band.
So what are you going to do for us today?
I'm going to sing What's Up by the Four Non Blondes.
Trying to get up that great big hill of hope for a destination. I realized quickly when I knew I should that the world was made up of this brotherhood of men, for whatever that means. And so I cry sometimes when I'm lying in bed, to get it all out, voice in my head. I'm feeling a little peculiar. going on? I take a deep breath and I can't rely, and I scream the top of my lungs, what's going on? And I say, hey, yeah, hey, yeah. I said, hey, what's going on? And I said, hey, yeah. And my life is still trying to get up that great big hill of hope for a destination.
It's the most wonderful time of the year. Tax season is here, and it's time to buy that new vehicle you've been wanting. Bryant Dependable Motors in Hiram has a wide selection of late model vehicles to choose from. With down payments starting as low as $500, reestablish your credit and start the new year with a quality vehicle from Bryant Dependable Motors. All vehicles come with a 3-month, 3,000-mile warranty and free oil changes for the life of the loan. When you're looking for Reliant, buy from Bryant. Bryant Dependable Motors, 3745 Jimmy Lee Smith Parkway, Hiram.
Well, thanks for hanging out with us tonight. Next week, make sure you join us again. We'll be Saturday night, midnight, right here, GATV, Channel 29. Tell your friends about it. If you're in the music world, maybe you can be on this show. We'd love to talk to you right here. Website at the bottom of the screen.